do you want to grow?
Absolutely.
Snooze, you lose. Stand still, you're moving backwards. Hello and welcome to I Want to Grow. I Want to Grow is just all about that. It's about our growth. It's about your growth. It's about everybody's growth. And everybody at one time or another will say, I want to grow too. So this is our show. And I am absolutely privileged today to have Binod on from eHaris. Welcome to the show. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for the invite. We're privileged to be here.
Oh, you're privileged. I'm privileged because I've seen your journey from virtually day dot, right? So I've seen you progress with your startup, eHaris. And I remember the very first time that I met you. And it was at the hackathon for Innovation Cafe.
Yes, the e-commerce hackathon from 2021. Yeah, in November. That's what I remember.
Unbelievable. The time flies by because it seems like I've only just known you from yesterday. So your journey before the hackathon, which is virtually thrusted you into the startup ecosystem, what were you doing before?
I used to be a cybersecurity consultant over here in a management consultancy company. And also, I have been trying to start a startup for the last 5-6 years.
Whoa.
And this is the one which got kick-started, and we are here now.
And we're going to have, the great thing about with this podcast today is that we're going to have all your team. So we're going to have your other team players that's going to be on as well. So that's really exciting for me. But how long did you know them before you started this business?
In reality, they're all my schoolmates. They have been with me for, let's say, more than 20 years from my high school. So we all did our schooling over here in Qatar, in MES Indian School.
Okay.
So we graduated together from high school. So we went our ways, did our university, came back. We are keeping in touch. We're always thinking, what can we do next in Qatar? And we worked out the first startup plan, second startup plan, we failed. And this is the one which got the correct markup.
It's got the right ingredients, that's for sure.
Yep.
And I think the most important ingredients that you've got is that you got a magnificent team that you all work so closely together. And now I realize, because I'd never asked you this before, but now I realize that you've been together for many, 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 many years.
Yes. We have seen each other grow. We have seen each other learn and evolve. So each one brings in a different set of skills to the table.
Yeah.
And the entire mixture makes it a very good food. Just like that, our startup needs all these team players. It's not a one-man show. And I would say that my teammates are the strength in this journey.
And I know that they're going to say exactly the same thing about you too, about their team and you being a part of that. And I kind of, have you influenced, as you've gone along, you say you were in school together.
Yep.
Have you influenced each other's lives in all the way?
I do believe I have touched their lives and they have touched my life and changed many things. And the inputs which we give to each other would be like blunt, and we wouldn't think, okay, what's the repercussions which is going to happen? And it's like on the face, we would say, this is wrong, this is right. Even in the startup journey, we have been going in the same way. So we make decisions. We do not think, okay, would he feel bad? No. This is wrong for the startup. We always say that, and we put our opinions up front and make a judgment, like make a decision very nicely. So that's a good journey also. Like, it's not like people say, okay, he might feel bad, I shouldn't say that. We always say, okay, this is wrong. We need to think about it in a different way. Because all three of us actually think in different ways. But once it comes to eHaris, we think, okay, what's good for eHaris?
I love what you're doing. I really do love what you're doing. And it is literally a progress. It first started in one area.
Yep.
Now it's covering multiple areas.
Yes.
Did you ever have that plan to grow that much with all the services you provide now?
In reality, it's the journey which actually took us there. So it's the different incubation programs which we are part of in Qatar. So it started off with Digital Incubation Center from the Ministry of Information and Communication. So the Lean Startup Program from Quebec. So the journey always tells us, keep looking for opportunities. And we were always focused on one focus, like we want to digitize the world. So we started with a digital ID, so to give a Majlis experience for visitors. From there, we started, okay, the same thing, can we digitize more things which is there in your wallet? So we started we didn't want to pivot completely, but pivot the small concepts into our idea. And we have chosen different verticals currently.
Yeah.
Yep.
It really is the growth that you've got. And I was playing with your application yesterday,
yeah,
where I was there with making sure that this was looking right, making sure that that's looking right. It's a simple idea with the business card, but
yep,
it's so effective.
Yes.
And it's thrusting you, from me and my age, it's thrusting me into the technology side of things,
yeah,
where it's a lot more easier. I don't need a business card anymore.
Yes. That's the thing which we always said, like, this is based on one feedback. So we always one of the main things which we are taught in Lean Startup is launch fast and fail faster, get your feedback and build again. So one of the things which when we started showing people, and one thing which we saw is that people are doing this using business cards, and we build that into our system. And what is unique in our system is the data privacy bit and the secure bit. Like, how can I make sure that I don't want to give out the data faster? I want to control my data but still use the digital business card effectively.
The business card is just one step of your...
Yes.
Come on, tell us all about it now.
Okay, so we started off with the journey was for giving a Majlis experience for visitors. Like, Qatar is known for its hospitality. So when we go into a commercial building or gated communities, we end up standing in queue because the security guards ask us for our personal details, take a photo of our QID or passport, and let us in, and then call up the host and verify if he's allowed to go in. So we wanted to digitize that process completely. And we started off with an iPad kiosk and a verification pass for visitors. When the host comes in, we want them come at the gate, scan and go in. It should be as easy as going through the e-gates currently in Qatar.
Yeah.
Just walk in, scan, leave. You're verified.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the verticals which we focused on. Next is for events. Just like Haya, we wanted visitors to go in to an event and enjoy the event seamlessly. We don't want them to get stuck at the entrance for the registration bit. So we built in this stuff with new technologies like Bluetooth Low Energy, NFCs, and also different secure features into the system so that they are validated, secured, and get a seamless entry into locations. That is event ticketing. So we recently did an event with Toastmasters. We started their registration process to online ticketing. So it's an evolving process.
And I remember saying to you the other day, we were talking about the World Cup, and you said we were ready to be able to have done that with the ticketing.
Yes. Yes, that we were always ready with that stuff, but it's about marketing and being at the right place at the right time. We haven't reached there yet, but we are growing.
You've got a massive future here in Qatar, and it's only just the beginning. And that's the biggest thing with you guys, is you're always pushing forward. What are those difficult areas that you faced being a startup?
Difficult areas, I would say it's launching. So we always had hesitancy of launching, but that has changed with this specific startup. So we kept saying, okay, we are launching, we are starting it off. Initially, we had thought that we are not incorporating a company till we get the first revenue. So once we got into the mindset, we are incorporating, we are going ahead with this, because all three of us had a day job and some of us still have it. So in that sense, we wanted to make sure, okay, this is the way we want to go through it. And there is a lot of hassles doing it. So it's launching in Qatar. So I always tell startup founders when I meet these days, launch. Have you launched it? You're supposed to launch it yesterday. Have you launched it yet? So that's one thing. And some of the things, like, you shouldn't forecast. This is the main advice from my teammates and my colleagues. They say, don't think about the future problems. We'll handle it when we get there. Just start it off. That's one thing which I say that's main thing.
Did you make a mistake that you regret looking back on that time?
We have made multiple mistakes. We do regret them, but it has been done. So we just fix them and go ahead.
Did you do your market research enough? Did you plan, or was it just a free flow at the beginning?
So we based off our idea with something. And then, as you said, market research. So we are taught in lean startup, go to the market, test it out and come back. So our initial testings, and we were just sitting in a room and doing it. We were not going into the market that much.
Yeah.
So that's something which even today I would say we need to go into the market every single day and come back with results.
Yeah.
And I would say Dijin, as an expert in Scrum, he says, okay, you need to do every day. There should be at least 0.01% effort which you need to improve for eHaris. That's it. Every day, if you keep increasing it, you get to a percentage. Oh, it's valuable.
And you say about your team, you all motivate each other?
We surely do motivate each other. We do demotivate each other. We do have pick up fights with each other, but that's part of the journey.
How's long that time that you haven't spoke? So you've fallen out and nobody's talking?
No.
How long does that last?
No, that hasn't happened.
Yeah,
that hasn't
good,
happened.
good.
No. That's not that.
Yeah.
We have known each other for quite long that we know that if somebody is not talking, maybe it's something else, because we all have our extended families in Qatar. So it might be a family problem or something else which is happening at our home. So that, oh, he's busy with that. Okay, well, no problem. We can handle it.
Okay, final question. Where do you see yourself in the next, let's say, 3 years?
Okay. The next 1 year, I do see everybody in Qatar having our app on their phone. Next 3 years, it's a GCC, and every person having our eHaris app on their phone for one use case or the other.
And how many events do you think you're going to be involved with?
I hope we are involved with all the events at Qatar, one way or the other.
I think, and I'm not just saying this because you're on our podcast, but I honestly believe that you've got something massive where you help individuals. There's no queues with you guys. I've seen you in action.
Yes.
It's seamless and it's so easy.
Yep.
It's so easy.
For sure. So we really were like the initial problem which we saw in Qatar is like, okay, there's a lot of technology people are ready to adopt, but enterprises, because we are a B2B solution, enterprises tend to say, okay, we want to do that, but they don't start doing it by themselves. They want somebody else to come and bring in the solution. So now we have the solution, just the enterprises needs to adopt it faster.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice being here.
Yeah.
What do you say? It has been a long journey meeting you and being here. And I would say that let's see how we progress together also.
I love your story. I'll be honest with you. I really do love your story because your work ethic, your togetherness, that's the one thing. You're inseparable, you guys.
Okay.
And it's like when somebody's got something, the other one's backing them up. So you're always helping one another. You always understand what the other one's going through. And the support there is fantastic. And it's so important for startups is to build that team, because that team is probably the most important part of that startup and how you go forward.
Yes. It's all about, so everybody can have ideas because our idea might be not unique, but it's about the team executing the idea itself.
Yeah.
The journey has been very entertaining and with a lot of struggles. Like currently we have an investor like Uridu is investing in us through QDB and Quebec. So it has been a journey by itself. People have a lot of people ask us how we reached here, and they don't understand the Qatar ecosystem, and the Qatar government supports startups a lot, and it's about your dedication to the system and being part of the system itself.
And that's so important. It's your dedication, it's your work ethic, it's your durability. It's you've just got to keep on believing and doing the hard work like you guys do.
For sure.
Good luck in the future.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
Good on
Cheers.
you. Come on. Introduce yourself as one of that team at eHaris.
Okay, so I am Fijo. and I'm a part of and co-founder of eHaris. And again, as we have been long together from school itself, so we know each other for quite some time. So that's how we bonded.
Yeah, and it is a bond. It is a bond. But
Yes.
what I like about you, and it's going to be picked up on the camera, is your smile and your kind of enthusiasm. Because I remember not so long back, we were at Leap
Yes,
in
we were
Saudi
at
Arabia. And you were probably one of the ones that I admired the most because you were non-stop, and that was not easy.
Oh yeah, it was not easy, but then the people were also very enthusiastic about it, and they always thought, okay, what is this about? So like they see normal startups. There were definitely a lot of other startups which are definitely great, even from Qatar itself. But then when they come there, like the name itself is something curious. They're not sure what it means, or it's kind of it just sparks some curiosity in them. So they just come with that. They're like, okay, what do you mean? What do you do?
Okay, so what does it stand for?
So eHaris, basically, E stands for electronic, right? And Haris is an Arabic word, but then my pronunciation is very bad. I'd be butchering it. But, it generally means like a guardian angel or a guard and things like those in Arabic. So that's how we started with. So we wanted to make sure, because the idea came out to be in the sense that, okay, we need to make entrances easy to certain places, right? So how do you make it secure enough and fast enough and convenient enough for people to come in? So that's how we started with. So when we looked at the name, we are like, okay, this is good. Like it's a guard for yourself, right? So electronically, you're guarding people around. So that's how the name came to be.
Nice. Because I thought at the time, I didn't know this. And at the time, I thought it was just because of the name you came up with. But that name is absolutely perfect for what you do.
Yes, exactly. I mean, once people get to know, because the name way we say it is kind of different. But then once like we were in a conversation, I remember back in the hackathon itself, and we were trying to explain the whole idea to somebody. I don't remember. I think it was someone from Uber. But I don't remember. And we are trying to tell him all the bits and pieces. And then he came back again to telling, okay, what is eHaris? And then we said, this is what it means. Then it just clicked him. He's like, oh, now I get it. This is how the whole thing works, right? So then he was like instantly on. He knows what it meant exactly, right? So it takes some time for people to get that flow into it. But then once they get the meaning, they're like, okay, they are able to picture it more precisely, actually.
I like what I like about it, because I remember being at the hackathon at Innovation Cafe did. And when I thought I was a little bit, I looked at you three guys and I realized what a huge talent there was there. And then I thought it was just a gate pass.
You're being too kind.
That's what I thought. I thought it's a gate pass. And then over that weekend, I was blown away by it. And then with all the other stuff that you were doing. And another thing is, every time that I see you guys, you're showing me something else. And I've got your business card. I'm going to have your business cards, and I'm going to have it on my phone. I'm going to have the special labels. It's much, much more than just a gate pass.
Yes, of course. It's way much more, actually. So our vision is to make sure that, like, anywhere you go in Qatar or abroad or any place that our system is there, you'll be able to securely get in. Like, I personally don't like giving, like, even from the, when you give an ID to somebody, they tell you, like, don't give your ID, because it can be used for a lot of other purposes. And like, if the bad person is getting a hand of it, it's not good for you, right? So they tell us, okay, don't give it. But then we willingly share this. Actually, like, if you go to certain places, like, you need to tell your ID number, right? You need to tell your email address or a mobile number. So like, technically, and majority of the places you actually write it down, like you write it on a piece of paper, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, if I was a bad actor and I want to know something about you, like, I really need not go search anywhere else, just stand behind you the line. Okay, there it is. I have the whole thing. I don't have to, have an effort to do anything about it.
Yeah.
So then that's somewhere we were uncomfortable telling, okay, we need to make a change in this, right? Everybody is moving, towards being more secure and things like those, and it's becoming more digital. But then again, security is something that's very important to us, right? So then, and privacy too, of course. So like, everybody will be like, okay, writing it down. We're like, no, there should be a better, way to do it, right?
Yeah,
More convenient way to, right? So that's how we came up with. So we started off with that, yes, but then we started expanding our horizons to understand, like, when we go out and meet people, different events, and like, as we met and things like those. So a lot of people tell, okay, this is good, right? And then we see, does this thing have a value for people again and again? Is this something that people are going to keep using it again and again? And once we realize, yes, this is something that people need and it can be incorporated by us, we just do it, right? We at the core are more of developers or more technical people, I would say, right? So when something comes and it's like challenging, can we do this? They're like, oh, okay, we can do this. Fine. Let's just do it,
Without naming any names and who you were up against, but I remember there was a story that you've told me where there was 1,000 people being registered in one area, and they were then there was some numbers in another area that you were looking after.
Yes.
The other one had a mile queue.
Yes,
and in your queue there was nobody.
Yes, exactly. So that's something that came up quite recently. Actually, that's something that we did, and then it was quite surprising because it was putting, like, we used to put our system to the test because we used to do certain things before, especially for an check-in system that we used to do. Right, we used to do it before also, but then we used to be like, okay, we had a certain number of small set of people who used to come in, and we used to be successful with it. But the other one was quite surprising, right? And people were like flooding, and we were like able to, easily go them. And they were like, there were times where I remember, like, the people from the other row, they come here and they're like, can you please check us in quickly? That line is too long, what do I do?
It was an impressive story.
Yes,
it was an impressive
it was.
story. And you're all developers,
yes,
right? Every one of you is developers. So how difficult was it, Leap, when you had to speak to hundreds of people and present your product?
So to put it in one way, we can say, because we are the developers of it and we are doing it ourselves, we know it very well, like inside out, right? Like, you ask me any question of the system that, okay, will this work or will this work, or this, can I combine this? Like, because our heads know how it works internally, we can actually answer. We don't have to go back to somebody else and figure it out and come back. I'm like, if you ask me something, I'm like, oh, yes, this can be done. Yes, right? Because I know it inside out. So that's one of the advantages that we have, right? Especially when you're being in a tech space and being a tech developer, like, you really need to know the system inside out, like being founder specifically, right? You can give it outside, true, because not everybody is going to be technically proficient to do it. But then if you can actually take your time, learn and do it, it's actually very helpful for you, because such cases, it'll be more easier for you, right? Because you're more passionate about it and you know that in depth about the system. And then when people come, you're more able to explain to them in the way they want to hear it about it, right?
Yeah.
So if you're just a purely marketing perspective, when you take it, like, you will have the marketing gimmicks that come inside it, and then people would be like, okay, maybe I'll try it out, and then they'll be like, this is not actually there what he said from it, right? So for us, it's more like, okay, it's there, or if it's not there, we are like, fine, just give us 2 days, we'll do that for you, right? So that's how it goes for us.
And you do sort that problem out pretty quickly.
Yes.
What has been in your journey? What has been 2 highlights that you look back and say, yeah, that was special?
I mean, there are a lot of things that were special, actually, right? In the sense, like, the first time when we launched the app, right, and like the way we thought about and way we envisioned it when it came out to be, physically on your device, then it's like, wow, okay, this is great. Like, we did it, right? It's there somewhere, right? And another one was basically from the hackathon itself. Like, it was like, okay, you have 3 days to build something. We are like, can we do this in 3 days, right? We are not sure. Fine, let's try it out, right? So we built it, we deployed it, and we tested it with people, and that was like, wow, okay, we just did it like within 3 days. So that was something very amazing, I would say, very memorable.
It's not your only rodeo that you've done with this eHaris. I've seen you at other events, and you've gone in there just to kind of, and I've seen how you take people into your area, into your team, right? And I saw how you go into different competitions.
Yes.
And you bring people along, you teach and educate those people, and you let them come into your team. You anything you go for, you tend to end up winning it, right?
No, not really. But we try our best to see. So it's more of like, it's always in learning, I would say, more preferably, because you get to meet a lot of people who's outside your circle, right? And you get to know their experiences and what they have, and like what ideas they have and things like those that they can pass to you, right? It's not only that you give something back, you earn something back too, right?
Yeah.
And I would say winning is just an part of it. Like you just a result of what you do, you just get that. That's it.
And what's your hope for the future? What's your what are you trying to achieve now in the next 3 years?
So as he said, it's the same vision that we have. We all share the same vision to make sure that the system is there in place for everybody to use, and they can securely get into place, rather than because it's more of a traditional system that we see everywhere, and we want to move everybody into a more secure system where it's more easier for them, right? Instead of carrying around like 5 different cards in your wallet just for getting into some place, like you have the most powerful device on the planet in your hand. Like I did see a video recently where they said they're actually using mobile phones even to send it to space, which will work like satellites, right? So if we can actually get to that point, why can't we just use the same device in your hand to do everything else, right? Because that's the smartest thing to do. And plus, when you think about it, like when you put a new system into place, right, you need a lot of new hardware, you need to spend a lot of other money for doing it. But over here, we are making sure that we don't want to make you spend more money on it, right? You need to be able to show that, okay, you spend like a lot of money on your phone, it's powerful enough, like use that same thing to do anything else around. So that's how we came up. What we tell is like we build what we call digital IDs for the physical world, because everybody tells like, okay, if you take a normal digital ID, they would say, oh, okay, I have the ID. Yeah, I can show it to you on the phone. Like, that's it. Like, you literally can't do anything else. So we're like, no, that's not the whole point of having any digital ID. You should be able to use it. Like what the purpose of the physical card would be, you should be able to do it using your phone too. Yep. So that's what drives us, and that's what we're trying to get out into the people and telling, okay, this is something will actually help you change your lives, right?
Yep.
So that's something that we're looking forward to.
So it's a fantastic app, and thanks for coming in and sharing with us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, good on you.
Thank you.
Last but not least.
Yes.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Dijin Kumar, and I'm a co-founder of eHaris, acting as a CTO. So whatever the app you have problem, they all come to me, and the next,
CTO, that's a big responsibility. I know that your 2 business partners that you've grew up with and went to school with.
Yes.
So that's a huge responsibility.
Yes. And actually, they bring us the flow, because they are also developers. They bring up the flows where we can bring like minute things, which you don't see actually in the app, where there is a lot of things happening in the background. So they bring up, especially Binod, because he's from cybersecurity background. He brings up a lot of innovative ideas where we can make things more secure. So there's a place where I have to find a solution to make it properly. Work it out,
Is it been what's the journey been like so far for you?
It was great, right? But I want to thank my family, because they give my time for the eHaris, and they take care of all my other responsibilities. Big thanks to them, because that's the people who are...
Name those people. It's like...
my father, my mother, my wife, and my child, So, great, big thanks to them, because especially my wife, she handles everything. Even this dress, she had to go to her home to get it, because I said I want this type of dress, this color, So it was in her home, so she drove there, take it back, ironed it, and bring it back. So that even minute things, they do it. Like when I come, like, okay, there is things I have to do today to finish it off. They do it like perfectly, cook everything perfectly. They make it everything ready so that like I don't get disturbed. All my doors are locked. They don't come and disturb me. Even my child, they keep away from her, so that like, because when you do coding, it's very hard when you have like minute second of disturbance. That's it. Like you go off, and to come back to that point where you are doing, it takes like maybe 1 hour. So they know these issues. They follow up with me, and they help me a lot.
Have you ever had any doubts in all this journey? Have you ever had any doubts that maybe we've taken on too much?
No, because also another thing is that my family is a business background. My father's been for 35 years here. So we know the business mindset. So they all know like what I'm thinking. They are all on the same boat, I can say. How we've how our journey was before, and they don't feel any difference because they know this is the thing. And they always have, this is what I say, they always guide me saying that like you push yourself to one point where you believe in it, you will get it at the end of the day. So they are my real motivators to be part of eHaris and the great team which I have.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
And I'm gonna ask you, like I asked Binod, are there any mistakes that you think to yourself, oh my God, I wouldn't have done that this time?
What I feel is that you should fail actually. The multiple times you fail, that's the thing you learn a lot. So Binod told you, like we have been 6 years. I think we've been 8 years almost. So 8 years we failed a lot. And that's the thing. That's the thing which makes us to push to, okay, that's it. We have to do next. We have, like, the moment we know the taste of failures, we know, okay, how to succeed. So the failures is like, if you think like one year back or 2 years back, okay, could have done this better. But you know, like after 2 years, because you didn't do that better, now you can do better and better.
Yeah.
So this is what I feel. So failures is the best thing. You should love failing rather than success, you know.
I like that. I do like that. Okay, so in the very beginning, I'm going to take you back to the beginning. How difficult was it to try to explain to somebody what your vision and what you were trying to achieve with the eHaris?
It was too difficult because we are coming from a tech perspective. People who are non-tech people, it's very hard to. There is a barrier over there where we have to break that one. That's a hard part. Even till today, we still have I'll give you a simple example. eHaris, what you see is just a 10% of the features you are seeing. To be frank, the business card is just one point of it, like one bit of it, you can say. And there are a lot of other things, geofencing. There is Bluetooth things which we can control the distance, you know. We never implemented these things like to show people, to be frank, because this is more technical. So what you see is just 1% and one bit of it. So why we do that? Because people who we start talking about these things, they'll not even understand what's happening. You know? So we go with the list, like what people can understand, like the first phase and second phase. And this is what I feel like. We feel like, okay, this is what they can catch up with us.
But it is like now that you're getting to a stage where the light bulb moment with people is just flashing on.
Yes.
It's going,
yes.
Oh my God, where's eHaris come from?
Yes.
They're solving all my problems.
Yes.
How nice a feeling is that?
It's great now. Slowly people are adapting to it. Our app and the vision what we have for digitalizing it. So it takes time, but eventually we reach over there. You know, this is what I feel. We all feel that same.
Yeah. So, give us a brief outline, and I know this is a difficult one, but just give us a brief outline of everything that eHaris is doing right now, or what you're adopting.
Our vision mainly focus on the wallet. You know, whatever you have in your wallet, we're gonna make it in eHaris. So, starting from business card, your access control, event tickets, you put in your money, except the financial part, which you're not touching it. Yeah. There's a very big team who is expertise in that. They can do that. Also, they can integrate it with our system. That's another thing. We even think about that. You know how like other startups, they can integrate with our system so that even the finance, their part will be there with them. So what we trying to do is want to know more wallet thing and no more. You know, this is what we are focusing on it.
I remember that, as I said, I'd done it 10 times with people yesterday where they tapped my phone, got all the information, and it got all the information, not just some of it. And we've got to print some business cards, and we said, who are we going to go? eHaris, come on. And then you all come into the office, and we had a really great session, and I don't know where that's going to go, but it just solves so many things from a business perspective. From my side, just being able to just tap. Oh yeah, now it's an easy situation. I'll just tap my phone, either with your phone, take a picture, whatever you want to do. It's there.
Yes. This is the place where we have a little bit different, because that's what Fijo was telling. You know, you have the information in your hand where you control it. It's not like once your business card is printed, there's no way you can change something over there. But here, okay. I don't want to give this number to this person. Okay. The control is on you, So as a user, you have the control of your information.
At the click of a button.
Exactly. It's a click of a button. It's in your fingertip.
It's in your fingertip because you've got all those multiple areas and you decide which one. And it's instant. Yeah. It's updated instantly.
Instantly, yeah.
And on and offline.
Offline, yes. On and offline.
Yeah. Yes. What are those? What do you dream of with this application now? What's your dreams and aspirations?
See, when you think about taxi, you think about Uber, right? So when you think about events or ticket or access control, that's first thing. Oh, we have to do eHaris. Or do you have eHaris, boss? This is the thing which I want, like everybody to name that sector as eHaris. Rather than like, that's what I said, Uber. You think about taxi, you think about Uber. You think about Talabat when it's delivery. So the next thing which I want is eHaris. So everybody says, like, okay, we have eHaris to get in.
And,
simple.
And this is I'm giving you a question, hot potato here. What is that? What are those problems that you go to bed with at night? Do you go to bed with many problems, or do you as a team, you share them?
Of course, we fight like kids. Even today also we have every day. Even that day when we met, we were fighting, we were talking, and this is our thing, That's the moment you fight or put like one topic and say, okay, what do you think about? And three of us have different mindset to it, and each tells the point where they feel the right thing. But we don't make a decision. We three make a decision based on what is best for eHaris. So that's what we have been doing from 2 years, So it's not about what I say right or what he say right. What is right for eHaris is the right thing.
Yeah.
So that's how that's the thing which we do normally. So at the end of the day, we don't put anything in our head, because the moment we go home, eHaris is something. We have family, because all three of us, our families are here. So that's we've been trained to do that, from the beginning.
Do you get phone calls in the evening from one of them saying, "I've got a great idea"? I've got a great idea.
Definitely we do that. Like, more often me, maybe I'd be thinking, like, when we pass by or something, we saw something. Even Binod, like, or Fijo, they say something, okay, man, they are doing like that stuff. The best part is that we are not outsourcing anything outside. So if Binod or Fijo or me, we come up with some idea, we can instantly do it. The business card, it was just done like 3 days,
Yeah.
It was just like, I think, I don't remember. What just came in my mind, and like I thought, okay, we'll try to do something. And one day, just did it. Second day, I showed them. Then Binod instantly said, okay, we need to change here. This is good. Do it. So it was done within 5 days.
It's incredible. It is incredible. And again, what I like about it now is that I've got my watch device. Yes. I've got the little buttons that I can have. Yes. I've got my phone.
Exactly.
It's just unbelievable, and I'm using each one of them. You can take my business card here. Yes. Just scan the watch.
Yes.
It must be a nice feeling for you all.
Yes.
Nice feeling.
It's great feeling.
and
I feel great when people use it and they give us a feedback, because we are really hunger for feedback. To be frank, we are really like, okay, you have something to be changed over here. We are more happy to do that. And sometimes I say to my friend circles, or when we show them, and when we change something and I don't go and check, I changed it because of you. It's your name now. Yeah, there is your name on it, That's what I say always,
Seeing your progress is quite outstanding, really, because you've kind of bootstrapped everything yourself. You've got some exciting things coming up, but you've done it all yourselves. You've kind of, and a lot of you have got full-time jobs. You've got family that supports you. It's like, I bet your mum's very proud of you, right?
Of course. I remember the day when we do the Toastmaster. This was hard for me, I was developing till 3 o'clock, and the program have to be started at 8 o'clock. 8:30 they have to start selling the tickets. That day I told her, like, my wife, she went to her home so that I won't be disturbed. My mom, I said, like, okay, I'm going to work on it, and I need complete silence, and that's it. She had a problem with her teeth, and she was swollen. She didn't say anything that day. She didn't sleep that day. And next day, this was really hard. Next day only she is telling, okay, you finished up your work? Yeah, I need to go to doctor. So see that, how they are doing like the sacrifice for me just because my dream is there.
Whoa, that's a great story.
Yeah.
And
This happened just last week.
and tell me something. Where's as I asked your other two founders and partners, where's your dream for the next 2-3 years?
As I told you, like everybody should say eHaris to, like not any other app saying, okay, we have eHaris, can we go in? Simple. This is my dream. Even when you go out of the country, anywhere, I want to replace even the e-gate system, where we can say, okay, you have eHaris, you can go in, you can pass the countries, go anywhere.
With the startup, and it's a brilliant story you've got, but let's go what we all met together. How positive is it with the help you've got with the ecosystems, like the startups and the startup competitions, the Innovation Cafe, the Digital Incubation Center? How much have they helped your progress?
They helped us a lot. There is a lot of exposure. Even, Steve, we met you in Hackathon, We met a lot of great people, amazing people during Hackathon, during the incubation center. Everywhere we meet great personals where they help us to grow.
Yeah.
One way or the other. Maybe a contact, maybe I don't know how to say, maybe a bit of information. We get a lot of help from that. And the Qatar government is doing an amazing job to even expectors like us, just pushing us. That's really great. Nobody I don't know other countries that does it or not, but they're just helping us a lot.
And do you have to pinch yourself now and again to think that one of your potential investors is going to be Ooredoo?
Yes. that was something we got a hit to push ourselves. So the moment, when we are off the stage where nobody knows about us, that's a place like we can do anything. The moment you are on stage, now every eyes is on you. You make a small mistake, that's it. Everybody knows about it. So we had to push ourselves to extreme levels so that we are in the market or we are in the race with the others, So that's one of the great things. So Ooredoo being partner with us, it's amazing. And they also in line in helping us and a lot of features for our app to support us and everything.
Have you ever stopped believing?
No.
And do you want to grow?
Yeah, of course.
I'm so thankful for you guys coming in today, because that was a special one for me, and you deserve every success that's coming to you guys right now, because you deserve everything that's coming for you. On that note, I'm going to say thank you very much to our guests today, but I want to thank you lot, and I want to thank you because I think you get so much listening to this stuff. It inspires everybody. And everybody, they want to, the podcast is not about them growing, it's about them helping others grow. And that's what you'll see with all of our guests on there. And these are no exception. They've always wanted to show other people on how to do things the right way and how to improve things for everybody else. Their determination, their work ethic, you can see how the family and their team and the partners are all together. And sometimes that's where we've got to begin. It's not rocket science. You've got to be there for one another, and you've got to help everyone along the way. So I hope you've learned some stuff from this podcast today. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you guys for coming along.
Thank you so much.